Hey kids, welcome back to another week of Old Man Plays CFL Fantasy. Sorry for the slightly nasal tone here today, I'm fighting through a summer cold. Last week did not so bad, 93.9, low scoring, but the whole league seemed low scoring there. And that was enough to get me past Sheldon of the 2 and Out podcast, so clawed my way back up to 4-4, right in the middle of the pack. I think I'm something like ninth in the actual game-on-game scoring and sixth on scoring. But anyway, that's that. This week I've got the Freep, who I have not yet met, from the Turf District. But wish them good luck. Not as good as me, but wish them luck. I'm going to try a slightly different tack this week. Rather than run through who the better tire target players are and all, I've done that 2 or 3 weeks, and it doesn't change that much. So we're looking at it a different way. This week, I'm also changing my strategy a bit. I've been sort of going with 1 or 2, maybe 3 real high performers, and then trying to split the rest of the money amongst tier 2 guys. And it's worked sometimes it hasn't. So this week I'm going to take a slightly different approach. I'm going to go for 3, maybe 4 of the people that I really want, and then I will go from there to the lowest price players on the board and see if I got anyone who looks like they've got a chance of adding some points in to justify spending $2,000 or $3,000, $4,000 on. I figure that's not a bad strategy, because what's been happening with me is I've been going for the mid-tier, looking where I can get them in the $6,000 to $9,000 range, and sometimes I get 6-8 points. Sometimes they blow up and I get 15 points, but rarely. Usually 6 or 8 points, and sometimes I get nothing. So if I'm going to take that kind of risk, maybe step back a little bit and spend more money on cheap players and leave me more for things that are slightly more certain. Anyway, don't know if you'll want to make that change, but that's what I'm going to do. Looking at the week, we've got the depth charts out already for the first 2 games, Calgary at Ottawa, and what's the second game now? Let me think about this. Oh yeah, Toronto at Winnipeg. So, Calgary, we know that VA is out. We know that Alford is out. We don't know about Adrian Green on the corner. He's a game-time decision. But Ben LaBrosse, who backs him up, is out. That means if they're both out, they're going to be going to a third-string Canadian, and that could cause some trouble. But we'll see. They should be trying to run the ball a lot, so Dedrick Mills will be a lock-in on my running back spot for sure. Ottawa, same thing. Drew's back. He might be in consideration, but last time he was out and then came back, he was rusty, didn't look as good. And they've got some questions. They've got questions of Zach Pelios. Let me see. Hold on. I've got the depth charts up here. Did he make it to the depth chart? So Ottawa, I don't think I'm going anywhere. I mean, Drew is back, but he could throw for 400 yards, and I might be really sorry. But last time he came back from an injury, he was rusty for a while. Calgary's got a hell of a defense. In fact, I think I'm taking their defense, expecting a few picks on Drew this game. And on his O-line, he does get Godber back at center for Ottawa, but Pelios is still a game-time decision, so that could make a major issue. Going on to Game 2, to Toronto at Winnipeg. Well, Schoen is out, and now Chase, who they replaced him with, is out. I cannot find the Winnipeg depth chart. For some reason, it keeps coming up saying not available or page not found, which is not unusual for them. So I don't know who they will have in on that. We do know, we've been told that Zach is out. So we're definitely going to have the Streb in there, or possibly even Terry Williams. So again, I think I'm staying away from Winnipeg. Toronto, their defense has been passable, might be worthwhile. Actually, the Winnipeg defense is, I was going to say they scored a interception or a fumble recovery touchdown last week, but that was a rain fluke. So no, not going anywhere near Winnipeg after all. Toronto in a pinch maybe, but I don't think so. I'm hoping I can get that Calgary one in. I'm kind of locked in this week. On the Toronto side of things, well, you've got Coxie and you've got Daniels at a slightly higher price, and I think that they might be a good filler in somewhere. You do also have Ungerer, who's in the lower end, and I think Mytel is now climbing up there a little bit. But those are the ones that are there. I'm thinking maybe going with one of Cokesy or Daniels. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. That takes us into the rest of the weekend. And we've got Hamilton going to Edmonton. Now, this is where the injury reports come in. We only know so much about what's going on out there, but they do have listed some players as out for sure. And with Hamilton, Ante Milanovic-Litre, who's a bit piece, is out. Jordan Murray, who's the left tackle, or right tackle, I believe, is out. I don't remember if he was in last week or not. And with the Edmonton Elk, well, Nick Anderson is out, so that may make running against them a lot easier. They also have Zach Mathis out on the receiving corps, and importantly, Royce Metchie as the safety. And Bo loves picking people apart. Now, on the upside for them, Robbie Smith, who I thought was on the 6th game, was limited most of the week and now is back and says available. So we don't know for sure what's going to happen there. I think I'm going to take most of my players from this game. I want Bo, and I want Kenny, and I want one of their lower price scorers, because it's kind of silly to pile up on one team, but if they shut down Lawler the way they did in BC last week, that's going to leave other people open. And a lot of people say, well, then you go to White. He's the automatic next choice. But he didn't get that much either. So I think I might be more interested in a Greg Bell or Keandre Smith. We'll see how all that plays out. On the Edmonton side, I don't see much to be excited about. Cody is a slightly cheaper quarterback, and he did go big against Saskatchewan, but I would not expect that same sort of letdown from the Hamilton defense. They're not as good as the Rider defense yet, but they don't drop out at the end of the game the way the Riders sometimes do in their cautious approach. All right, and then that takes us to the last game of the week, which is Saskatchewan going into Montreal. And when we look at this here, we don't have who's out yet. We just have the ones that look, yeah. And Carney is limited. Was DNP the first day, limited the second day. I'm not sure if he'll be in. That could have an impact on how they play the Montreal offense. Mary Alford, of course, is out. They do get Peyton Collins back, and it will be interesting to see how they shuffle the line with that. Do they keep Noah Zur in there? Do they get Zach Fry back? He was DNP and limited in the 2 days. Or do they find a way with the American ratio or the Canadian ratio to move the tackle inside and put Collins back out at tackle and go back to go with basically 4 American linemen? It's an option, but I don't know they have the people otherwise to do it, because Samuel Emlis still has not participated yet this week. There's no sign of Daniel Johnson coming back at that left tackle. He's got a shoulder. Fry, like I said, is limited. So it's a bit questionable. But the only one who's a ball-carrying position is Emlis. Well, and I guess Dell Duncan Busby did not participate and then limited. So we don't know. Seems like a big sort of mess this week, doesn't it? Plus the games. Try and predict them. I mean, really. Calgary should have been a walk in Ottawa, but now Drew Brown's back and PJ Walker's in, and that's all up in the air. Winnipeg and Toronto, who knows? Winnipeg's back at home, but Toronto made them look pretty silly last week with what they were doing. Hamilton and Edmonton should be an easy pick, and that's partially why I'm loading up there. But other than that, Saskatchewan and Montreal, coin toss. I don't know. They're both playing well. They're both not really closing out games. They both seem to like coming from behind almost, so it'll be interesting. I don't know. Let's go I don't know. Let's go fire up the Pick'em. Talk George. I don't know. Let's go fire up the fantasy on the old computer here, run through it quick, see what we get. I have a feeling this will be a fairly quick team to put together. Okay, let's get this started. We'll start with the quarterbacks first, and I wanted to go with Bo because he's in there. Running backs, I wanted Mills. I expect he'll be up there, yes. And wide receivers, I'm going to start with Kenny for, and of course he's the highest priced one up there. So now, going from there, let's look at the other wide receiver. Let's see who's available on that Hamilton team that I said I wouldn't mind taking if I can find a good secondary receiver in case they stay away from Bo again. So what have we got here? Oh, Keandre Smith is only 4.4. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I like that. That 4.4 is, I mean, think what you would have got for the points out of that last time. So that leaves me now, where are we at? 22.1 with a flex, a running back, and a defense to get. So I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to go to the best running back that I can find, put this back to all, and try and find a good one out of the very cheapest range, the 2 to 4K. And let's see, Williams is up there, but he's hurt. Travis Thies. You know, Shulkad, or however you say him in Calgary, may get some work if they're run heavy, but I don't know for sure. Antwi's back on there now too, so yeah, I think Thies, or however you say his name, he's not going to get a lot of points, but if he gets me at 3K, if he can get me 5 points, I'm on a winning thing. Usually it's about 1.5 points per player. So let's go with the defense next and see what we get here. Open that up to all the ranges, and I like Calgary, so yeah, we're going to take them and see what that leaves us now. 9.2K for a flex position. So let's go over here. Let's set this down to 8 to 10K, and the ones that we can use are not grayed out, so I'm not sure. Wheatfield, Rankin definitely not. Wheatfield maybe, Kelly and Julian Grant. Brissett is in there, which is nice. Daniels may work very well too. We're seeing some here that could work. Philpott, I'm told, is out, so I'm not going near him. Oh, Rambo. And I think Mack is out, as far as we know. And Tyson Philpott is out, so let's go to Rambo. He could be their number one guy. That might be a smart choice. That leaves us at 1.2K, and I don't think I'm going to find anything much better in that range. Let's see who they have at running backs. If I put this to the next range up and put the running back position in and see, is there anybody there that might be a step up from Jason? Peterson, McMahon. No, I don't trust him. I trust him for even less. So, okay, we're going with this. Captain is Bo. We're locking it in. There's the team. Okay, that's it. Them's my picks. Trying a slightly different experiment this week. As always, if you'd like to use them, do so at your peril. And otherwise, not so much to talk about. Please take the time to drop a like. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe, leave a comment, all those things. Wakes up the algorithm, makes them take notice of us, gives us a chance to, I don't know, get more people either enjoying or screaming at me. So, I hope you all have a great week. I hope it's a good weekend of 4 CFL games for us this weekend. It should be interesting in most of them. And I hope you have a great week on your fantasy. Best of luck there. Unless you're the Freep in Edmonton who's up against me. And then, like I said, slightly less luck. That's about it. Old man, signing off.